Hello students, this video is in continuation with my previous video on Markenshields, where we discussed general account of order Markenshields. And in this video, I am going to share with you phylogeny, origin and classification of Markenshields. So let's start. Students, you know very well phylogeny means evolutionary history of an organism or a group. So in case of Markenshields, extinct complex thalloid liverworts are often represented by qualified compressions. Means these are preserved by some external agency by exerting pressure that preserve superficial morphological traits and do not allow exhaustively analyzing their fine anatomy. Means you can find here only superficial morphological character. Though in exceptional cases, fossils might preserve cell detail. Means in some cases you will find some more details. Markenshields which date back to Mesozoic era are divided into following two groups according to their overall morphology. So it clearly means that fossils of Markenshields can be recovered from the Mesozoic era. And these are of two types like Markensia-like or Riccia-like. First case, Markensia-like fossils. Example of this is Markentitis cathodoides from Middle Triassic is a Markensia-like fossils whose detailed morphological characters are like thallus with midrib, reduced air chamber, rhizoid and scales on the ventral surface. It clearly suggests that it has a nested position within the Markenshields. Means these fossils show very close resemblance with the Markenshields. Second one is Riccia-like fossils and example is Rhisiopsis endolengensis. It is recovered from the Middle Jurassic and have been assigned to families based on their overall morphology and branching patterns like Riccia. As the phylogenetic relationship among many extinct and extant Markenshields remain equivocal, means it remains similar. It has been suggested that some fossils are closely related to extant Markenshields, means they show similarities with the living Markenshields. The first phylogenetic analysis that include both extinct and extant Markenshields have further clarified the relationship among these taxa and have revealed new relationship among families. Likewise, the inclusion of fossils in total evidence analysis implied that some groups of complex thalloid liverworts might be older than previously thought. It simply means that fossils may show complex thalloid liverwort-like structure. Next is origin of Markenschiesius thallus. Students, two widely divergent views have been put forth to explain the origin of Markenshields. Some biologists consider that simple gametophyte of the Markenshields is the result of retrogressive evolution, means it evolves from some highly evolved genera, while others hold that it is result of progressive evolution, means it resulted from the evolution of some simple previous forms. So let's first see reduction theory. As I explained to you that in reduction theory there might be chance that Markenshields have evolved from some complex genera. So this theory explained retrogressive evolution was first proposed by von Batstein in 1908. According to this, primitive gametophyte was nearest the erect leafy Acrogynous jungerminaceous form, and you know very well that Markensia have thalloid form and leafy form is the advanced form. So from this leafy form, thallus-like form is originated by the reduction. Leafiform is an erect leafy gametophyte, radial in symmetry and with leaves in 3 rows. Next step toward reduction was the adoption of prostate habit. With the appearance of dorsiventrally, the leaves on the ventral side gradually diminished in size and finally disappeared. In the changes in habit and diminishing size of the ventral leaves were accompanied by the central axis. So it's very clear that leafy form undergoes some reduction and resulted into dorsal and ventral surface by reduction of the leaves. Associated with these changes was the gradual and complete elimination of lateral leaves. These changes resulted in the formation of a leafless flat dorsiventral acrogynous jungerminaceous gametophyte of Palea type. So you can see in this image, this is Palea type, which is formed by the reduction. It is leafless, flat as well as dorsiventral. The later by gradual progressive internal differentiation of tissue finally led to formation of externally simple but internally differentiated thallus of Marken-Shales. So you can simply see that in Marken-Shales, externally the thallus is very simple. It is dichotomously branched and dorsiventral, while internally it shows very clear-cut differentiation into photosynthetic zone and storage zones. The scales on the ventral surface of the thallus of Marken-Shales are considered as modification of the leaves of the ventral row of the foliose ancestor. As I explained to you that there is 3 rows of leaves in the ancestor from which Marken-Shales have originated. So the ventral row of leaves has modified into scales. Govil and Kashyap were the other who believed retrogressive evolution by reduction in the liverworts. Kashyap, however, postulated the theory of pteridophytean origin of Marken-Shales reduction on the basis of resemblance in external form and the structure between radial prothallus of Equisetum and Lycopodium, with the liverwort thallus in general and Marken-Shales thallus in particular. So Kashyap has some different opinion. He put forward that Marken-Shales originated from the pteridophytes by the reduction, and he inferred that with the similarities in Equisetum and Lycopodium thallus and their radial symmetry, the upright chlorophyllous branched lobes of the dorsal photosynthetic region of the genera of Equisetails and Lycopodiales respectively agree the upright chlorophyllous filament and walls of the air chamber in the Marken-Shales. Means if you see internal structure of Equisetails and Marken-Shales, you will find some similarities. Like you can see their sunken stomata. Here you will find air pores as well as chlorophyllous zone or photosynthetic zone in both the genre of the pteridophytes and the Marken-Shales. Mehra, however, objected this hypothesis because it is difficult to reconcile the highly differentiated sporophyte of Equisetum or Lycopodium with the simple liverwort sporophyte. As you can see in Equisetum or Lycopodium, the sporophyte is highly differentiated, but not in case of liverwort. Secondly, there is absence of vascular tissues in the entire class of liverwort, including the Marken-Shales. Third is absence of any structure on the undersurface of prothallus of these pteridophytes, which could be interpreted as having been reduced to scales. So characteristics of the thallus of the Marken-Shales means in both Equisetails or Lycopodiales, their prothallus lacks some specialized structure which can be reduced to the scales, which are the characteristic feature of the Marken-Shales on the ventral surface. So it is difficult to explain the origin of upright specialized sexual branches of Marken-Shales from the ancestral prothallus, particularly when Kashyap considered form like Markensia as primitive or ancestor in Markensials. So both of these theories explain reduction of Markensials from either Jungermannials or from the Pteridophytes. Second is condensation theory, which is a part of retrogressive evolution. In 1957, Mehra gave evidence in support of a rare phylogenetic connection between the Jungermannials and Markensials. He propounded a theory explaining the origin of Markensiasis thallus from the folio Jungermannials by compaction, condensation, and fusion of the leaves as. Again, this theory explains origin of Markensials from Jungermannials either by compaction, condensation, or by fusion of leaves as follow. First step in the reduction is overlapping of the lateral leaves in the folio's ancestor. Second is fusion of lower portion of these leaves at the point of contact, resulting in the formation of single layered wings on either side of the central axis and lamellae on the upper wing. As you can see in the internal structure of the Markensia, there is presence of wings. The one cell thick lamellae were directed obliquely outward and as a whole formed upon chamber of the linear type. The next step was the roofing of the air chamber by inward growth of margins of the cavities of the chambers. So you can see all these changes leads to formation of complex internal but simple dorsal structure of the Markensials. Next is communicated with the outside by the large gap. The gaps were against loss of water by transpiration. As you can see in internal structure of the Markensia, air pore are present. The roof chamber at first communicate outside by large gap and these gaps were then replaced by definite pores. That is a protection against loss of water by transpiration. Later replaced by definite accompanied by gradual flattening of the central axis till it reached any partition occurred across the chamber as the Markensia. All these changes were accompanied by gradual flattening of the central axis till it reached the margin of the wings. Then next step is formation of secondary partitions or thallus occurred across the chamber as the flattening of the thallus occur. So students, you can simply understand that there is reduction of the Jungermannials, that is a leafy form, into the thallus form, and for reduction there should be elimination of the leaves and differentiation of the internal structure, as you see in case of Markensia, which has air pore, air lamellae, photosynthetic zone, storage zone, as well as the rhizoids and the scales. So all these processes leads to finally internal structure of the or internal differentiated structure of the Markensials. In some genera adapted to xerophytic condition like Plasiocasma, horizontal partition were also found between the lamellae for multilayered chambers. Subsequent changes were the development of assimilatory filament from the floor of the chamber in members like Markensia and the formation of barrel-shaped pore, characteristics of the some of the Markensials. So students, that's all about the retrogressive theory, and it simply explained that Markensials either reduced from the complex structure of Jungermannials or from the Pteridophytes. Next is progressive evolution. As the name indicates, there is evolution of complex structure of Markensia from the simpler one, that may be fossils or the algae. The adherents of this hypothesis hold that the Hepaticopsida originated from a simple thallus gametophyte. The ancestral thallus was simple prostate and showed an external or internal differentiation. The theory of progression was originally suggested by Sipner Campbell, which thought form like metaxeria present a hepatic which show a nearest approach to the gametophyte. From these primitive type progressive evolution sequence followed two diametrical opposed direction. This resulted in the evolution of following two types of gametophyte, that is Markensiaceous and Gingerminaceous. So progressive evolution simply means that present day Markensiaceous and Gingerminaceous forms emerge from the simple metaxeria type, which progressively leads to complex internal structure from the simple structure. First one is Markensiaceous gametophyte. It is suggested to have evolved from the primitive thallus gametophyte by the following changes. First one is retention of the external simple prostate thallus-like form, and second is gradual but progressive internal differentiation of the tissue. It finally resulted in the formation of a thallus internally composed of a definite epidermis, pores leading into the air chamber containing chlorophyllous filaments and a parenchymatous compact storage tissue, and aggregation of the sex organs into localized area called the receptacles. So it clearly means that Markensiaceous gametophyte which show simple external but complex internal structure as well as complex localized area called receptacle in sex organs evolved from the simple form by the progressive evolution. Second is Gingerminaceous gametophyte. It involved the following changes. First one is retention of the simple internal structure, and second is gradual but progressive elaboration of the external form resulting into the formation of leafy prostate thallus characteristics of the Gingerminaceous. So in case of Gingerminaceous gametophyte, which will further originated from the Markensiaceous gametophyte by progressive evolution, where there is retention of the simple internal structure as in case of the Markensia, but there is gradual but progressive elaboration of the external form resulting into the formation of leafy prostate thallus, which is characteristic feature of Gingerminaceous. So you can see in both these forms complex Markensiaceous and Gingerminaceous gametophyte evolved from very simple prostate thallus. Next is classification of the Markensiales. Students, you know very well that order include about 420 species. They are placed under above 35 genera. Campbell recognized only 3 families, namely Richiaceae, Corsinaceae and Markensiaceae in this order. He included the genus Moroclea and Targionia in the family Markensiaceae. Udar in 1976 recognized 5 families in the order Markensiales. The former made out Markensiaceae on the basis of nature of the receptacle, manner in which it is born and the structure of the sporophyte, and on the basis of these 3 characters, that is nature of receptacle, manner in which it is born and the structure of the sporophyte, the 5 families are Markensiaceae, Rabuliaceae, Sexteriaceae, Targoniaceae and Richiaceae. So students, in case of Markensiales, you will see that 5 families are there, and they are Markensiaceae, Rabuliaceae, Sexteriaceae, Targoniaceae and Richiaceae. So that's all about the phylogeny, origin and classification of Markensiales. So in phylogeny you can recollect that extinct and extant genera show close resemblance, and their history shows that both have similar structure with little bit modification. origin, you can recollect that I shared with you two theories of evolution, that is retrogressive and progressive. In retrogressive there is reduction and in progressive there is evolution from the simple to complex. And last is classification. Ultimately we have 5 families in the order Markantiales. So that's all about this video. I hope you understood the topic. Thank you for listening.